Hello students, welcome. After a lot of discussion with students who are facing a lot of dilemma about which program to study after your 12th, I thought let me compile a presentation on why we should study engineering. I am Professor Suresh Mane, working at Girijabai Sale Institute of Technology in Karwar, Karnataka. And I am heading this institution for the past 5 years. I have total around 30 years of experience, both in industry as well as in academics put together. And having interacted with thousands of students, I thought it's high time that I make a small video which can be of some use to the students to choose their path of studies. The presentation will go as follows. We will see the purpose of life, career opportunities. We will also see some UG programs. UG means undergraduate programs in engineering. Then we will try to understand the graduate attributes. These are very important because as we are drifted away, we are finding that students are no more interested in engineering, or they have gradually lost interest in core branches of engineering. Then we will see certain subjects studied in first year and the new student induction program created by AICTE. For example, we'll just go through the branches in mechanical engineering, 3 streams of mechanical engineering subjects. Then what are the learning opportunities for students in UG programs? Some advice regarding placement trainings, field visits, etc. As you are aware, this world has advanced a lot. I think I was born in the 60s and I am lucky to have seen almost 5 decades. And a lot of developments have taken place in this world, and it is mainly a human contribution. Whatever technology you see, whether it is electricity, what we use, the energy sector, your cell phones, personal computers, laptops, automobiles, be it two-wheelers, four-wheelers, other modes of transport, be it trains, aeroplanes, marine transport, even water supply and sanitation, these roads, bridges, buildings. Lot of developments have taken place in the past 2-3 decades, and it is mainly attributed to the young minds, the creative and innovative brains which we are having. Otherwise, if you look at the past 200 years of this industrial revolution, the growth was very normal, or the slope of the graph was very small. But in the last 2 decades, we can see that man has grown considerably in all spheres of life. We'll come to this purpose statement lately, but we'll see what are the opportunities for engineering graduates once they pass out. Like in India, basically you have Indian Railways, with one of the largest employers in the world. Thousands of engineers working there. Then you have got some exam called IES, that is Indian Engineering Services Exam, which is conducted annually by Union Public Service Commission, UPSC. You have also got Civil Services Exam conducted by Indian UPSC, again Union Public Service Commission, annually. You have a lot of multinationals in India. Fortunately, today India is the tech hub of the world, and a lot of multinational companies are having presence in India. We have Indian industries also, and most of the students even prefer to work near to their hometowns, be it like Goa, Karwar, Mangalore. So they have employment opportunities close to their hometown also. And there are a lot of options for higher studies, uh, be it in technical studies like MS program or MTech program, and also people join the business schools for doing masters in management. Opportunities are there for engineers to work globally. I think Indians are working in most of the countries worldwide and have contributed immensely in all spheres of life, and more so in technology field. For studying also, like I was telling, MS Master of Science programs as well as uh, management programs are available. You can go anywhere in the world for higher studies. And basically, engineers are into research field. They design products, they install the products. They are into project management. They are into operating and management. They are into sales. They are technical sales, technical marketing, as well as servicing opportunity. There are almost 32 to 36 engineering programs. The most popular ones I just listed here, like right from 8 alphabetically, I think it is written. You have basically automobile engineering, aerospace engineering, biomedical engineering, electronics and communication engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering, chemical engineering. And this mechanical, civil, electrical, and ENC, they are considered the core branches in engineering. They are ever, like people say, they are evergreen engineers. But of late, a lot of importance is given on computer science and engineering. Just if you happen to take up engineering, I think what is expected from an engineer basically after 4 years of engineering. I think this point needs to be told in the beginning itself, because that will pave way for the students to think in those lines and ultimately utilize their uh, time and energy to acquire the skills and become competent engineers. So there is something called Washington Accord. India, there are around 25 countries, and India is one of the signatory to the Washington Accord. And our degrees are from the accredited institutions are considered as globally equal. And the 12 graduate attributes, once the student passes engineering, qualifies as a graduate engineer. So these are the attributes what people are looking for into the from the engineers. Like first is the engineering knowledge. Basically, any stream you select, be it mechanical, civil, electrical, and all, you should have basic fundamental engineering knowledge. The second one is the problem analysis. The problem analysis means engineers are basically here to solve the problems. Okay, the problems can be of any kind, and you can see they add value to the products, they add value to the services, and hence the development of materialistic world has grown leaps and bounds. The third is design and development of solutions. If there are problems in the society, in the industry, for the mankind, we have to find solutions. Like for example, now people are facing problem with ventilators. So a lot of engineers have joined hands to develop low cost ventilators, that to indigenous ventilators. So this is one of the opportunities. Then conduct investigation into complex problems. Basically using the science, technology and mathematics, a lot of complex problems, for them solutions are being found by uh, engineers, whether it is in design of a civil structure or mechanical engineering field. Lot of investigation have been conducted. The fifth one is modern tool usage. Modern tool usage means nowadays computers are like by default people have computer knowledge. So the computer is one of the major modern tools. Now you have like internet is one of the tools. So these kind of tools should be used, and even the things to come, like in future you may have like voice recognition and all. So people should be able to use the modern tools. Engineers are committed to society. See, whatever we engineers do, we do in the best interest of the society. So engineer's role is to develop the society and contribute his might for the development of society, and he will not think anything untoward. Then ethics. There are a lot of ethics involved in engineering. It is not just to make money or make a livelihood. Engineering career should have a lot of ethics. Otherwise, you have seen a lot of disasters when people don't have ethics. Engineers contribute a lot to environment and sustainability. So I think all the UG undergraduate engineering programs, they have a subject called environment engineering, and where they study the various aspects of environment and also about sustainability. Sustainability stands on three pillars, that is economics, environment, and social equity. The ninth attribute expected from engineers is individual and teamwork. So engineers are supposed to work individually as well as teams, because most of the projects they involve lot of expertise from diverse fields, and hence teamwork is very important. Then project and finance. Any major project, even for example construction of a skyscraper and all, it involves the knowledge of project. Even setting up an industry, if you want to become an entrepreneur, setting up of industry requires a lot of knowledge about project and finance. So in India, basically we teach project and finance as one of the subject in UG program called management and earlier it was called management and entrepreneurship. Now management and economics. And lifelong learning. Engineers need to be lifelong learners, learning day in day out, because the knowledge is growing on a day-to-day basis. So if you are not abreast with the new developments in their own fields, then you are like obsolete. Hence, learning should be a lifelong affair. For example, when I was studying, these computers were not even there. I passed out in the year 1990, and the computers had just come. And those days they're all DOS-based software, and this Windows was not there. So I used to virtually type the commands. But over the years, we have learned all this MS Office. Like earlier, it was WordStar, Lotus, and now we have MS Word and MS Excel, and even making presentations like PowerPoint. And communication skills. So whatever we do as an engineer, ultimately we need to communicate it to our team, or to communicate with the other stakeholders or even consumers. So communication can be verbal communication, non-verbal communication, and engineers are supposed to be honing their skills in communication. So these 12 graduate attributes, not only in India, anywhere you study engineering, an engineer should possess these graduate attributes once he passes out. So in these 4 years of learning in the UG program, you are supposed to touch on all these topics, and your course curriculum on engineering anywhere in any part of the world is designed keeping these 12 graduate attributes in mind. And all the courses, all the subjects what you study, irrespective of the branch, whether you are studying mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, irrespective of the branch, the course outcomes will try to satisfy or help in attaining these graduate attributes. These are also called as program outcomes. So engineering is a program, BE mechanical engineering is one program. Similar, all these undergraduate programs, these 12 attributes have to be attained by the student by the time he completes his graduation program. So I have seen many engineers who have passed out, even who are serving, but they are not even aware of what are the graduate attributes, what is expected from them. So I hope this discussion on this graduate attributes will throw light that if you are studying any program, you need to know what are the graduate, what is the expectation, and how I can improve my knowledge, skill, and attitude in these attributes. For engineering, I think past 2 years, one good thing has happened. Now there is something called student induction program. So there is a 3 weeks induction program once you join in the month of August, September. So there is a 3 week induction program where there is no teaching of academics, but there are teaching about life skills. Ultimately, unfortunately, we see that a lot of people they are not able to succeed in life, or they have got their own definitions about life, success, etc. So, just to brush up, we have something called universal human values, and 4 to 5 days, the universal human values are taught to the students so that they understand and appreciate. I can tell you this 3 weeks of induction program will definitely reorient a person. It is such a beautiful program. It is followed right from IITs, all the top. It was introduced by IITs, now it is implemented in all the engineering colleges pan India. Secondly, you will have the opportunity to visit all the departments, whether you are studying one branch, but they will take you to all the departments, and you can visit your own department labs. So like mechanical engineering, each department has around 10 to 12 different laboratories, and the students are exposed to the different laboratories and what are the activities being conducted in those activities. Similarly, there will be familiarization with the faculties and staff of the entire institution as well as the respective departments, and visit to local areas, local industries like science centers and all, so that students breed familiarity, and there is a breaking of ice between the faculty and the students, and students now orient themselves towards studying engineering. One more beautiful thing what I have seen is when you study first year, this engineering basically is of 8 semesters spread over 4 years. And in the first year, apart from studying physics, chemistry and mathematics, you studied the basics, that is elements of mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, computer science engineering, electronics engineering. So you have the awareness about all this engineering, the main core engineering like mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, computer science engineering, as well as electronics and communication engineering. So you'll have a feel of what the engineering subjects are basically in different fields. Like mechanical engineering also will study, student will also study about computer science engineering, and the other way around. So computer science engineering student will also study about mechanical engineering. So you'll have a flair of all the streams of engineering, and normally these subjects are taught by the senior faculties, so that students really enjoy learning, and there are a lot of learning outcomes and takeaways by the students. We also have subjects like Constitution of India, as well as technical English and environmental studies. Now just to give an example, if you take up mechanical engineering, so mechanical engineering, you have got 3 major streams. One is the design engineering subjects, and then secondly you have thermal engineering subjects, and third you have the manufacturing engineering subjects, and along with that you have electives, which are the open electives as well as professional electron. So you have a basket of courses what you study, and the courses in our VTU, which is ranked 55 in the all pan India in the National Institutional Ranking Framework, launched recently. India VTU ranks 55th among the around 1000 universities in India, and 5th in Karnataka. So lot of flexibility is there, and we teach engineering for almost 175 credits. So each 1 credit means 1 hour per week. So it is almost like 1 credit equals to 16 hours of learning. So you can imagine for 175 credits, almost some 2000 odd hours of learning will be there. You learn almost 40 subjects and 10 laboratories. So a lot of exposure is there. Not only your own one stream, you have study subjects from all the three streams. Similarly, you have got different specializations in all the branches of engineering, civil engineering. Like civil engineering, you have got something called environmental engineering. Then you have got structural engineering. So geotechnical technical engineering. So a lot of water resources engineering. So a lot of streams are there in all fields of engineering. Then what are the actually learning opportunities for engineering students? What I personally feel, engineering is a very well developed curriculum globally, not only in India. World over, it's a very well developed program, and lot of activities of late. The impetus on learning is given, learning outcomes. Like now, the learning education itself has become outcome based education. Outcome based education means what an engineer is able to do once he graduates from his college. So, on the outcome, everything is hinging now. So, AICT has started some activity program so that the students in the UG program connect with the real world, the neighborhood, like in the society, what they contribute to the society, in the villages or towns where the institutions are located. Then I think assignments are one great way of learning, where you Google and get information from various sources, various textbooks, journals, and all. Then you have a lot of field visits. The annual you are taken to various industries. Then many projects will be there. Most of the teachers, they give some projects so that the students gets hands-on learning experience in the form of mini projects. And presentations, most of the subjects, once the students undertake the assignments, they can give presentations and seminars, and thus they can improve their communication skills. See, please understand, whatever these learning opportunities are there, they are meant to cater to some or the other graduate attributes. So like presentation, seminars, you can it will improve your communication skills. Mini projects, it will improve your teamwork, individual as well as teamwork. Okay, so these are the learning opportunities. We'll see them in detail in slides to come. One more good thing about engineering education is a lot of placement trainings are there. Please understand that the institutions are trying their best to see that the students get properly trained so that they are employable. But unfortunately, I have seen in the past 8 years of experience in academics that students take it very lightly. Unfortunately, they are in a different world. They do not understand the importance given by the employers, industries to the trainings, and ultimately they end up in a fiasco. It is a very unfortunate situation. That is why particularly I have taken up this slide, so that students should understand the placement trainings. And most of the institutions place training starts right from the first year itself. It is very formally planned right from first year to the final year, and by the time they come to the 7th and 8th semester, placements on campus placements happen and students get placed. So I think this is one of the good initiatives taken by most of the institutions, but unfortunately students in the company of other students, they don't really appreciate the efforts, and they take it very lightly because these things are not mandatory, one thing, and they don't most of the colleges don't pass on the cost to the students. So students, when they don't pay, they are not interested. And thirdly, they think that because they don't have any credits or any examinations for this, they are not bothered. But please understand that placements are very organized in all the institutions. Their placements also include aptitude training, because to filter aptitude is one of the tests which most of the industries they venture into, because the number of applicants will be very huge, say in terms of hundreds, and the number of openings will be very few. So this is the best way to filter out the students at one go. Then The placement trainings also include personality and soft skill training. A lot of professional grooming is there. Please understand, engineering is a professional program. So engineers are supposed to behave professionally, conduct themselves professionally, and lot of trainings in this regard are being given. A lot of group discussions are undertaken, mock group discussions, mock interviews are conducted, so that the students develop the courage and confidence to face the final group discussions and interviews once they come to the final year. Learning, as I was telling, I would like to continue that there are something called MOOCs, massive online open courses. Fortunately, in this COVID era, a lot of openings are there for these MOOCs, and the MOOCs have seen tremendous growth in this past 3 months in this 2020. Now you have got something called Swayam portal. This is by Government of India, Ministry of HRD, Human Resource Development. Earlier NPTEL was there, but now NPTEL is a part of Swayam program. This NPTEL is run by IITs, so that you get all the learning material. Please understand, you get to learn the best from the best of teachers. All the video lectures, all the PDF material is available free of cost on the net. So you can download all the material from the net and learn. And you want a certification, then you have to pay 1,000 rupees for writing the examination. And there are proctored examination and various centers. You can write the examination, and these are conducted twice a year. Like our semester exams are there, these are also conducted twice a year, preferably on Saturdays and Sundays. So these NPTEL courses or Swayam courses are very important. And now of late, AICT, that is All India Council for Technical Education, has allowed students to take up 20% of the subjects through this Swayam. So 20% of the subjects means, if you have 175 credits are there, means 35 credits you can learn through Swayam. In our VTU, the new program what we have launched this year, now the students can take up BE honors. So if you study apart from your 175 regular courses, what you are studying, 40 subjects, if you take up some more 6 to 8 subjects and learn them and qualify in them, then you can get BE honors degree also. So that facility has been extended by VTU. This was not there earlier. Only this year only it is being launched, especially for students who are studying in the 2018 scheme onwards. And this share of 20%, actually AICT and UGC, they are planning to increase the share of this from 20% to more. And of late I am told that this 2020 and beyond, the education will not be 100% on face-to-face education or classroom education, what it was all along. Now UGC is seriously planning that 30% of the program or the topics which are taught, they can be taught online also, and the rest 70% should be offline, that is face-to-face. So this is going to stay, COVID or no COVID, but now the government is thinking seriously of introducing or empowering digital learning, online learning, virtual learning. Okay. Similarly, there are courses like Coursera, one of the large platforms where very good, interesting and good courses are available. There is some more platforms like edX as well as Udemy. Even you have like MIT courseware, Stanford courseware. Global education also is available, but you need to check the sites. So what I have seen in the engineering studies, the students join for 4 years. They improve all the quotients actually. I am very happy to say that there are some 4 AQs. Like one is the AQ, that is first is the IQ basically, that is the intelligence quotient. Then next to that comes the EQ, that is the emotional quotient. The third one is the SQ, that is the social quotient, and the last AQ is the adversity quotient. So in the 4 years, the student improves all the quotients basically, because he will have a lot of social mingling in the campus. There's a great campus life for engineers basically. they improve their IQ. This is a part of their studies. Then EQ, because they deal with various students, various faculties, and all. And because of the deadlines, the back subjects, or uh, different handling different types of difficult teachers, even the adversity quotient is improved. So as a engineer, you need to understand that everything counts. It is not only that intelligence counts, also your emotion quotient counts, your social quotient counts, as well as your adversity quotient. So please understand that in the 4 years program, definitely lot of learnings and lot of takeaways will be there. And now these internships have been made mandatory. Most of the universities have made internship mandatory, and internship is basically 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. In the real life learning, basically they go to the industries, they go to the service center, power sector, various power plants, and they learn. The students get to learn firsthand about the industry, what are the HR practices, what are safety practices, so that whatever they study at their academics, they can correlate with the real life. Okay. So our students, I have seen, they go to NPCL Kaiga, Aditya Birla Karwar. In Goa, so many industries, Polo, Chauglas, Sai Service, so many manufacturing units also, they Varna in industry area at Varna. They go and they do these internships, Goa Shipyard Limited, MPT. Similarly, they have got R&D center. Some places you have got CSIR labs and all R&D centers. So students can take advantage of this and go further internships, as well as field visits are also conducted. Field visits is a short 1 day duration affair, but these internships are for long durations in weeks. And I was telling, assignments are integral part of engineering learning. So assignments are not that you see from others and write. So you apply your own mind. You you Google it out, you think it over and write down in your own words. So this is there for all subjects in all the semesters. And basically some assignments are like individual assignments to be done by the individual, or some are team assignments also. And ideally the assignment should be explained by the students to the class, so that he also develops the presentation skills, that is the communication skills. Similarly, there are a lot of seminars and presentations per subject, every subject and every semester. So this way, by the time a lot of grooming happens, from the time from first semester to the 7th semester, 8th semester, the raw coal is pressed and polished, and ultimately they come up as diamonds. But please understand that learning should not be for the sake of just marks. It is like I have got a driving license, but I personally don't know driving. It is nowadays engineers are something like that. They know they have the license to driving license, but they are unable to drive. That should not be the case. Okay. So please understand that these graduate attributes have to be attained over a period of 4 years, and ultimately the knowledge and skill of the students matter a lot. So a lot of apprenticeship opportunities are available. All this public sector, around 250 public sector undertakings are there in India. So like your Vasco, you can Goa Shipyard and all, even NPCL Kaiga. So there you can go for apprenticeship also. They have 1 year apprenticeship training after engineering. Some stipend is paid, and a lot of learning happens there also. Basically, engineering is more interesting because it has got light of real life application. So and once the student is able to relate his subject to the real life, he really appreciates it, be it any product or any service. So lot of real life applications are there, and hence it becomes more meaningful. So engineering cannot be just confined to your learning of the subject in the classroom or from the university curriculum, but as I told, lot of massive online open courses are available. So you can definitely take advantage of that and be abreast with the latest developments in the relevant field. So a lot of growth opportunities are there for engineers. I have seen engineers joining as management training, graduate engineer training, and even occupying the top slots in the respective companies. Okay, please understand these opportunities are like this pyramid. You have a lot of competition in the base. Bottom, like graduate engineers, just diploma holders, lot of competition is there. But as you go up the ladder, corporate ladder, the industry ladder, you find that very less competition is there, because every new step, every positive step in the growth, it calls for a different person. A lot of other skills are required, like team management skills, soft skills and all, and managerial skills. So you can climb the corporate ladder if you are having that skills. And of course you need to be learning your skills as you progress in your life. So any questions are there, you can type in. I like to definitely come back to you and address your queries onto that. And I wish you a very happy learning. This is my email, mane.suresh1304@gmail.com. So I wish that you enjoy your learning. Whatever course you choose, please understand that the outcomes, learning outcomes are very important, and ultimately you come out as a good citizen and contribute to the nation and mankind as a whole. Thank you. Have a good day.